My phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, a notification lighting up the screen. It was Alex, my husband of 10 years. I smiled, expecting a quick check-in. Instead, my heart stopped. I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce. All contact goes through my lawyer. No explanation. No apology. Just a text, cold as ice. I stared at it, fingers trembling. This had to be a joke. Alex was at work, or so he'd said. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but we'd never fought like this. No late-night arguments, no signs he'd checked out. So why? I called him. Straight to voicemail. I texted back, "What is this? Call me." Nothing. Panic crept in, then anger. 10 years, and he ends it like this? Not even the guts to face me? I paced the living room, replaying the last few months. Alex worked late sometimes, but he always came home, kissed me, laughed over dinner. Had I missed something? The lawyer part stuck out. Why a lawyer already? It felt planned. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to think. If Alex wouldn't talk, his lawyer would. I found the name in an old email, David Green. My hand shook as I dialed. The line rang twice. David Green, a polished voice answered. "David, it's Kelly Carter. Alex just texted me he wants a divorce. You're his lawyer, right?" Silence. Too long. Then a sharp exhale, like he'd been punched. "Mrs. Carter, did Alex already file for divorce?" My skin prickled. Why was he asking me? I don't know. Just a text saying it's over and to go through you. Another pause. "God damn it, Alex," he muttered, not to me. Papers shuffled, a chair scraped. "Kelly, listen carefully. Have you signed anything?" "No," I said, pulse racing. "Just the text." "Good. Don't sign anything. Don't talk to Alex." "What's going on?" I demanded. A door slammed on his end. "I can't say much, but Alex is hiding things. Big things. If he divorces you before you know, he keeps it all." "Keeps what?" My throat tightened. The line went dead. I stared at my phone, David's words echoing. Secrets. Hiding things. My marriage wasn't just over, it was a lie. And I was going to find out why. I sat frozen, David's words burning in my mind. Alex is hiding things. Big things. What could be so big he'd end our marriage with a text? I redialed David, but it went to voicemail. My anger surged. Alex thought he could blindside me, and his lawyer knew more than he was letting on. I called again. This time, David answered, voice tight. "Kelly, I told you." "No," I snapped. "You panicked when I called. You said Alex is hiding something. What is it?" A heavy sigh. "Kelly, I'm his lawyer. I shouldn't." "You already crossed that line," I said. "You warned me not to sign anything." "Why?" He cursed under his breath. "Fine. Alex has been planning this for a year. He's moved assets, millions, into accounts you don't know about. If you sign the divorce papers now, you get nothing." My stomach dropped. "Millions? How much?" "I can't say exactly," he said, voice low. "But it's enough to start over. He's been setting up legal walls to keep it all." "Why?" My voice shook. "Why not just be honest?" "Because he knew you'd fight," David said. "And if you fight, you'd win. You're entitled to half." I gripped the phone, fury rising. So he thought I'd just roll over? Take a small settlement and walk away? That was the plan, David admitted. He'd drag it out in court, wear you down. Claim the money was his alone, earned before the marriage. "That's a lie," I said, teeth gritted. "I know," David said. David's warning lit a fire in me. Alex was hiding millions, and I'd been blind to it. I needed answers, someone who knew his world. Lisa, his assistant, was my best shot. She'd worked for him for years, managing his schedule, his deals. If anyone had seen something off, it was her. I called her, hands unsteady. "Lisa, it's Kelly." "Kelly?" Her voice was surprised. "Everything okay?" "No," I said, keeping my tone even. "Alex texted me he wants a divorce. Said it's all through his lawyer." "Have you talked to him today?" A sharp breath. "Oh. No, not today." "That's sudden." "You knew something was up, didn't you?" I pressed. A pause. "I suspected. He's been weird for months. Secretive." My stomach twisted. "Weird how?" "Off the books meetings," she said. He'd leave early, no explanation. Started handling wire transfers himself, to accounts I didn't know. Last month, I heard him on the phone. He said, once she signs, it's mine. She won't know what hit her. I froze. Once she signs, it's mine. Who was he talking to? No idea, Lisa said. But he sounded smug. I didn't tell you because I wasn't sure. Thanks, Lisa, I said, mind racing. If you hear anything else, let me know. Kelly, be careful, she said. He's not himself. I hung up, pacing. Lisa's words confirmed it, Alex was scheming. I thought back to the last year. He'd been cagey about money, brushing off my questions. Just work stuff, he'd say. I'd trusted him. Now, that trust was gone. I needed to dig deeper. Alex's office was my next stop. He kept files in a locked drawer, but I knew the code, our anniversary, ironically. If he was hiding millions, there'd be proof there. I grabbed my keys, determination replacing my shock. Alex thought he'd played me, but I was about to turn the tables. #investigation begins. David's warning lit a fire in me. Alex was hiding millions, and I'd been blind to it. I needed answers, someone who knew his world. Lisa, his assistant, was my best shot. She'd worked for him for years, managing his schedule, his deals. If anyone had seen something off, it was her. I called her, hands unsteady. "Lisa, it's Kelly." "Kelly?" Her voice was surprised. "Everything okay?" "No," I said, keeping my tone even. "Alex texted me he wants a divorce. Said it's all through his lawyer." "Have you talked to him today?" A sharp breath. "Oh. No, not today." "That's sudden." "You knew something was up, didn't you?" I pressed. A pause. "I suspected. He's been weird for months. Secretive." My stomach twisted. "Weird how?" "Off the books meetings," she said. He'd leave early, no explanation. Started handling wire transfers himself, to accounts I didn't know. Last month, I heard him on the phone. He said, once she signs, it's mine. She won't know what hit her. I froze. Once she signs, it's mine. Who was he talking to? No idea, Lisa said. But he sounded smug. I didn't tell you because I wasn't sure. Thanks, Lisa, I said, mind racing. If you hear anything else, let me know. Kelly, be careful, she said. He's not himself. I hung up, pacing. Lisa's words confirmed it, Alex was scheming. I thought back to the last year. He'd been cagey about money, brushing off my questions. Just work stuff, he'd say. I'd trusted him. Now, that trust was gone. I needed to dig deeper. Alex's office was my next stop. He kept files in a locked drawer, but I knew the code, our anniversary, ironically. If he was hiding millions, there'd be proof there. I grabbed my keys, determination replacing my shock. Alex thought he'd played me, but I was about to turn the tables. I crept into Alex's home office, heart pounding. The house was silent, but I felt like a thief. The locked drawer called to me. I punched in the code, our anniversary, a bitter irony. The lock clicked open. Inside were files, neatly stacked. Financial statements, legal papers, bank records. My hand shook as I pulled them out. Then I saw it, a statement for an account I'd never heard of. Balance, $8.6 million. I blinked, sure I'd misread. But there it was, in Alex's name alone. I flipped through more documents. Transfers, starting a year ago. Millions moved to this account, bit by bit. Offshore deposits, hidden from me. My throat tightened. This wasn't just greed, it was betrayal. 10 years of marriage, and he'd been planning to leave me with nothing. I sank to the floor, papers spread around me. David's panic made sense now. He knew I was entitled to half. Alex wanted me to sign divorce papers before I found this, thinking I'd walk away clueless. But I wasn't clueless anymore. I grabbed my phone, snapping photos of every page. I emailed them to myself, uploaded them to a secure cloud, and sent copies to Lisa with a note, hold on to these. If anything happens, send them to David Green. Her reply was quick, got it. This is insane. Insane didn't cover it. Alex had built a secret fortune while I trusted him. Now, he thought he could cut me out. My anger turned to resolve. I wasn't just fighting for money, I was fighting for justice. I stuffed the originals in my bag. Alex wouldn't know what hit him. I drove to Alex's company penthouse, the bank statements burning a hole in my bag. He thought he could hide, but I had his key card, he'd forgotten to take it back. The doorman waved me through, no questions. My pulse raced as the elevator climbed. I stepped into the penthouse without knocking. Alex lounged on the couch, whiskey in hand, looking smug. When he saw me, his face twisted. Kelly? What the hell? I tossed the statements onto the coffee table. Explain this. He glanced at the papers, then back at me, paling. Where did you get those? Doesn't matter, I said, crossing my arms. I know about the $8.6 million. The transfers. The accounts you hid. He forced a laugh. You don't understand. This is. I understand, I cut in. You funneled millions behind my back, then tried to divorce me before I found out. You thought I'd sign and walk away with nothing. His jaw tightened. That money's mine. You have no claim. I stepped closer. We're married, Alex. Half is mine. And a judge will agree when they see those transfers, made during our marriage. His eyes darkened. You think you're smart? I'll say it was before we met. I smirked. Good luck. I have proof. And David? His face froze. David wouldn't. He did, I said. Your lawyer told me everything. How you plan to lie, drag this out, cheat me. Alex stood, fists clenched. That traitor. No, I said. You betrayed me. 10 years, and you thought you could erase me. He sneered. This isn't over, Kelly. You'll regret this. I grabbed the papers, heading for the door. No, Alex. You will. 2 weeks later, I sat in court, the bank statements in David's hands. Alex sat across the room, his new lawyer, a slick, overconfident type, whispering in his ear. They thought they'd win. They were wrong. David stood, addressing the judge. Your Honor, my client, Kelly Carter, was blindsided by a divorce filing. But more than that, Alex Carter hid $8.6 million in assets during their marriage, transferring funds to secret accounts. He handed over the evidence, statements, transfer logs, emails. The judge's eyes narrowed as she reviewed them. Alex shifted, his face pale. "Mr. Carter," the judge said, "care to explain why these assets weren't disclosed?" Alex stammered. "Those funds, they were from before the marriage." David didn't miss a beat. "Your Honor, the transfers began a year ago, well within the marriage. These are joint assets. Mrs. Carter is entitled to half." The judge nodded, flipping through the documents. I glanced at Alex. His jaw was clenched, his confidence crumbling. David pressed on. "Furthermore, we request punitive damages. Mr. Carter's actions, hiding assets, planning fraud, were deliberate." Alex's lawyer jumped up. "Objection. This is speculative." "Overruled," the judge snapped. "The evidence is clear." She turned to Alex, voice cold. "Your attempt to defraud your wife is egregious. Not only will Mrs. Carter receive half of all assets, but due to your misconduct, she's entitled to an additional settlement." Alex's fists tightened. I felt my chest lighten. The judge continued, "Mrs. Carter is awarded $4.3 million, plus $2 million in punitive damages." The gavel fell. David turned to me, a small smile. "We did it." Alex's lawyer tried to argue, but it was over. I'd won, not just the money, but justice. As we left, Alex grabbed my arm. "Kelly, don't do this." I pulled free. "You did this, Alex." Months later, I stood on the porch of my new home, a quiet, cozy house, not some flashy penthouse. The $6.3 million settlement had given me freedom. I sipped coffee, watching the sunrise, feeling lighter than I had in years. No more lies, no more betrayal. Alex's world had collapsed. Lisa told me his business tanked, investors fled, clients dropped him. His penthouse was sold to cover debts. His mistress, who'd been in the shadows, left when the money dried up. He was alone, broken by his own greed. A text from Alex came one morning, "Can we talk?" I laughed. Where was that energy when he sent the divorce text? I typed back, "No need. Good luck, Alex." Then I blocked him. My new life was mine. I'd won, not just the money, but myself.